Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. It's a Thursday night, Friday Junior, if you will. We have gotten this far in the week, and we got a little wrestling for you tonight here at the Wrestling for Life Network. We got count them, four preview shows as we bring you Under Siege, Battleground, Double or Nothing, and Saturday Main Event, all in one humble, fun show. It's going to be a good one. Get in the chat, click all the buttons, strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. Welcome to our previews and prediction show. All the shows crammed into one as we got a busy weekend here on the channel. We got all your favorite wrestling coming up, and we're going to cover all four pay-per-views that are happening this weekend. Plus, we're going to be live for SmackDown. But me and these two pretty faces will have you for the next, we don't know how long. This could be 90 minutes. This could be 9 hours. We'll figure it out. But it's going to be a fun one here tonight, folks. And to my left, yes, is Anthony. To my right is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings you its YouTube tag stream trios champions of the world, the man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony, the every night delight, KJ White. I am Big Nick, and how are we feeling going into arguably one of the busiest wrestling weekends of the year?
Ready to go. Ready to go.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot going down this weekend. I'm excited for some of the shows. I'm excited.
Lots of wrestling. I mean, for the people out there that don't seem to be enjoying the wrestling of any capacity, it's a hard weekend to be a wrestling fan and not like anything. There's something for everybody. There's a smorgasbord of all types of variety. We're going to see stretcher matches, cage matches, what other kind of matches, title matches,
tournament matches.
Yeah, we're getting all the things.
Right. Do you have think that there's a show going into it right now that you think is going to be the best show of the weekend?
I pulled the audience with that as well.
Fair enough.
I guess I'm more excited. This is going to be wild, but I'm actually really excited for Double or Nothing. There's a couple of matches on the card that I'm really looking forward to. Because I haven't seen Anarchy in the Arena and I don't have time to see a past one this coming weekend. I'm kind of excited to see what this is. I'm also excited to see Ospreay and Hangman. Yeah, I'm excited for that match as well. I'm shockingly excited for the Tony Storm match too. So there's a couple of matches on that card that I'm actually kind of excited to see.
Anthony's all about the shaking with Mina there.
Absolutely.
Battleground, I think, is my front runner for what I think is overall going to be the better show out of the four. I agree Double or Nothing might have some really great matches, some really cool moments. I think the overall bottom to top show is going to be Battleground. NXT always delivers on like their takeovers and their PLEs and everything. And we've got some new faces in some new places over there. So I'm really excited to see what those people are going to do.
Absolutely. I think Double or Nothing I'm super excited for. And we'll talk about it as we go through this show tonight. But I'm a little disappointed with the build, and I don't love the card. And I know some people out there like, "There's better than Mania." Like, come on, guys, let's be real. When you say stuff like that, nobody listens anymore. It's silliness. No way, it's a top-heavy card. Like Anthony said, there are a couple things I want to see, but I think overall, I think it's going to be chaos one way or the other, so I'm kind of in for it. I think Battleground has a chance to be kind of has my highest expectations. The Joe Hendry situation, I'm looking forward to that. The other two, I mean, let's go.
We got 4 matches on one of them, so I mean, it's a little. We're going to have some cool moments. We might have some fun things to talk about, but as far as a pay-per-view show goes, granted, I know one's a weekly special or a monthly special. I don't know if. Is Under Siege technically classified as a pay-per-view, even though it's on a Friday?
Pay-per-view.
Okay. But I'm just hoping Ospreay keeps his promise of during that promo with Hangman that he said he was going to be following 3 hours. If there's only 3 hours before we get to the main event of Ospreay and Hangman, they might steal the show because they've actually moved at a good pace.
Well, that means that they stuck to like 8 matches. They don't add too much tonight on Collision. I don't think they should be adding matches on Collision, as your final go home show, unless it's something that's been built to for a long time. So, it finally becomes official. But if he can stay in this range and not add 4 more matches, he's got a chance to at least, even the matches I'm not thrilled about, if they show up and deliver and it's a shorter card, let's go, man.
Well, can anyone name any sort of match that's on Collision right now that they could add that has been built to that they haven't put on the card yet? Because they've even put matches on this card respectfully that haven't been built yet all that much. Looking at you, Briscoe and Ricochet.
Let's go.
From the Collision card, no, but there are like a couple of matches that really haven't had any type of build. Like you said, one of them is Okada and Mike Bailey. Like I know it's been in some matches somewhere, but nothing really has like actually came between these two, except I think last week I think Mike Bailey chased Okada out the arena. I remember KJ screaming on screen saying who chased Okada. That's how we kind of got to that. But I don't think there's really anything else they can add from Collision.
No. And there's really nothing else bubbling like on any part of like if they announce a match now, hopefully it's a 0 hour match. We really don't care what the story behind it is. But to add something to the main card, I think you're fine where you're at. And you can let Anarchy in the Arena go for an hour or 45 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever it's going to be. Hangman Ospreay are going to be the main event. Let them cook. More matches is probably not the best way to go.
No, it's definitely, we've said that multiple times. I almost wonder if you take some of these matches with the 8 that you have, which is still Tony, don't add any more. Swear to God. But if you take 1 or 2 of those and say slide those to a 0 hour,
right?
Like I know that we've got the Hurt Syndicate stuff with MJF and everything, but the Sons of Texas, I don't care too much. That could maybe go 0 hour, but we're getting too much into the weeds on shows already.
90 minutes.
I tried.
Kevin, I'm just going to say hello to some people real quick. And again, you fill up the chat, folks. Hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe. You're doing well. And again, we're back tomorrow, SmackDown and Under Siege. Saturday, we're here for main event. Sunday, we're here for Double or Nothing and Battleground. So, yeah, jam-packed weekend, all the coverage, and then back at it on Monday for Raw, and so on and so forth. But Kevin's here with us. Cherokee, George, Ken, Hassan. What's up, Clay? How you doing? Trey, got you. The wrestling god. A lot of people asking. We're going to talk about Mania. And then we're going to get into these shows. If you haven't watched one of these shows before, we break down all the matches tonight. We're going to go from chronologically in order and knock one off at a time and go through all the matches and give all our opinions. Some are going to be long, some are going to be nice and short, and we'll see how it goes. But next, it's good to see. It looks like the Power Rangers. Thank you.
More for time,
right? Ken, how you doing? Chris, welcome back. OG Dale, Dawn, I see you. Byron, gotcha. Bradley, always a pleasure. Brandon, Phillip, if I missed your name, Benny and Kyle. AJ, I think he's here with us too. Sean. But yes, if I missed your name, hello. Gentlemen, you want to go chronologically? Like start on Friday, move forward?
I think that's the best way to go about it.
All right. So we will be live tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., covering 2 shows at the same time. Like no other, folks. Let's start with an easy one. I think Eddie Edwards taking on Diener. I love Diener. Diener's shouted out the channel before. But if Diener wins, he gets his contract back?
Yeah, yes. If Diener wins, his contract is extended. Yes, that's correct.
All right, boys. How we feeling?
Diener.
Dinner or dinner?
Diener. I thought we were about to just start doing Bueller of Diener.
Yeah, I think this is easily Diener. He's taking this from Eddie Edwards and extending his contract with TNA.
I would agree with that too. Not much going into this or a whole lot to break down on this one, but Diener stays.
Yeah.
If he doesn't stay, where does he go?
I mean, the Indies like everyone else.
Yeah. And I don't want to call out his age, but he's up there. He could retire if he wanted to, too. So he doesn't really have to go anywhere else. I think he's in his mid-40s. So,
right.
Yeah, he doesn't really have to go anywhere else. But yeah, it's TNA for him. He's winning this one.
He's a TNA for lifer.
Yeah. Now, I may have jumped the gun quick, but a couple people have brought this up in the chat. Anthony, directed at you. Ace Austin gone.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That was
big
news about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Not surprised. I'm not surprised.
No.
They actually had been trying to renegotiate his contract. That came out in January. So apparently what I've read is they just couldn't come to an agreement and they just parted ways. So I'm not really surprised there, especially with his tag team partner being injured, maybe not ever to potentially wrestle again. Maybe he wants to expand his wings and go somewhere else. So I'm not really surprised about the Ace Austin thing. Does it hurt the X division? Yeah, a little bit, but they got some new people coming in soon, I'm sure, and they really been big on Leon Slater. So it's not like it's like the end of the world for Ace Austin or TNA losing Ace Austin.
The curious, where does he go? Because he's a talented guy.
Well, that's why I'm like, to me, that's an L for TNA. I feel of Ace Austin, even if he was still going to be a singles guy, I think he's a talent enough that you could have still gotten behind him, built behind him, and all of that. And they were kind of doing that of when he was pairing with the Hardys. He was still kind of floating around the tag division, but he could still be a singles guy. So that's why I'm like, where does he could go? WWE, AEW? Could he just go straight back to New Japan?
Yeah, I could see that. I think he'd be sought after because of his age and his athletic ability. I mean, he's a guy that could get like that NXT deal and come in like a Ricky Starks or a Ethan Page has and really contribute. And also a guy that would fit into the AEW crew really well. I just don't know how well they would handle him. I'd be a little nervous for that.
Yeah, and then when it comes to Ace Austin as well, from what I've read is like he has spent most of his career in TNA. It was like he came out of, from what I read earlier, he came out of high school, out of teenage years, and immediately went to TNA. So he's been there for a very long time. And in my personal opinion, I don't see it as an L, as he's trying to better himself in a way. TNA has some good talent, and I think within a couple of months they'll be just fine. I mean, Ace Austin hasn't really did much since the injury of Chris Bay. I mean, he's kind of been paired with the Rascals in like a three-way tag team. So they haven't really been using him that well since Chris Bay. And I think they had plans for them to actually win the tag team championships back. And that just all fizzled when Chris Bay got injured.
And I'll give you that 100%. And I wish, I guess, more that TNA would keep him and could still do stuff with him. But I get very much like you were saying, if he's been there pretty much since the womb in TNA, fly like an eagle. Yeah. He's got to spread his wings. And especially like, you mentioned, KJ, of Ricky Saints versus Ace Austin in NXT doesn't sound too bad. We just saw Josh Alexander go from TNA over to AEW. Does he go that route? Because does the WWE TNA relationship help in any way when it comes to a situation like that?
I think so. I mean, at least I think it puts you more in front of them. Like instead of being like, "Hi, I'm Ace Austin. I used to work at TNA." That has opened that door, and I mean, Ace can really wrestle. Like he's really good between the bell. So again, I think it makes it a little bit easier, at least of, hey, I'm not working where I used to. And it doesn't feel like they're poaching, right? It feels like a guy that's just ready.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I was just going to say, we've thought about that with recent WWE releases that they could end up going pretty much over right into TNA. And that's a way kind of work through the whole cycle and all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I when it comes to Ace Austin, I think he just kind of ran his course for me in TNA. And it wasn't like TNA was not interested in re-signing him. They were heavily wanting to re-sign him. That was like expressed at the beginning of the year that they wanted to keep him around. But you know, people always want more money, and that's not a bad thing when you bet on yourself. So
right. I want to see him do his heel work. Like, he was a really good heel. And I think if you ran that back and he was kind of the cocky kid with the funky glasses, I think it really works for him.
Right.
Quick side note, I know we got to get to these. I said we were going to do it, and I lied. The breaking news of the day, it's broke the internet. Mania is no longer going to be in New Orleans. Anthony sent it earlier today, and we were all kind of like, I don't know. Like, we didn't know what to believe as usual, but it's confirmed. It will not be in New Orleans, and now it might be in Vegas.
Well, I just don't even. I'm still like trying to wrap my head around this, because I know Anthony even asked it in a group chat of when's the last time something like this has happened. And I was like, the last time I recall is like WrestleMania 7, when it was Hogan Slaughter, and they had to move it because of debatable circumstances. But that was much closer to when it was going to happen.
Yeah,
and everything. And ticket sales has already been an issue and everything.
Yeah,
the most we've seen for this was an announcement.
Yeah.
So what the fuck happened?
Again, I mean, it has nothing to do with ticket sales because there aren't any.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Listen, for those who like to jump online and instantly turn it into ammunition, just shut up and take a break. Like, it kills me. There goes the Fed again, just breaking people's hearts. And of course, they're going to try and get more money because they're greedy. We don't even know what happened. We don't know what happened. Like, heaven forbid we wait and find out what happened before we have an opinion. I don't know. I mean, again, there's a contract, there's an understanding, there's an agreement. Something had to shift. And I know they said they're going to do Money in the Bank and a future Mania. So maybe that was the trade. I don't know. I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, I don't really. It is odd and kind of off-putting a little bit. Like, you had the big grand announcement. It was The Rock that made the announcement in New Orleans on an episode, I believe, SmackDown, and then to turn around and not have it, it's kind of shocking. As a fan, I'm a bit disappointed because I really wanted to try to go to New Orleans. If it's in Vegas, I just don't know if I can afford Vegas. Like, I tried this year with this one, and it just didn't work out. And it feels like every time I get somewhere near close to WrestleMania, something happens where I can't go, like WrestleMania 36 being canceled altogether, and I had tickets to all of everything. But I think as a fan, I'm just a little disappointed. What I was really looking forward to New Orleans. I'm hoping that, if they do Vegas again, I know London is an option, and that's great for them. If London is where they go next year, that's super exciting. But if they do Vegas again, I just hope that the ticket prices are a little bit cheaper. I mean, I paid like $300 for lower bowl at WrestleMania 36, and you're talking about $1,200 for lower bowl. It's just like, that's just too much.
So you're saying that it's your fault? You're the hex?
I feel like I am at this point.
Anthony just pretty much said everything that I've been thinking and everything. I think that they're honestly going to go to London. I'm still, at least I hope that very much. I mean, Brunch with the Boys Mania, I'm all the way for that. 100% sign me up. But it's going to be really interesting to find out why this happened. Did they have a true agreement in place? I know you weren't a fan of that idea, KJ, but were they, pre-mad about this whole situation? Were they prenupped into this? Did they have something going on behind the scenes, didn't announce it yet, or just went with the announcement but didn't have an official deal? And does this become backlash towards the fans of, well, I was already planning to go to New Orleans, now if we're going back to Vegas? Vegas kind of has a bad taste in some people's mouths, I feel, with WrestleMania.
Right.
And again, Anthony mentioned you might be pricing your fans out again. Now, why am I going to go and spend that money again just to go back to where I just was? All of that.
I think the crazy part is if they go back, it's still going to sell. That's the crazy part. But no matter what we say, it's going to be a ticket. Until proven wrong, we'll see. But we were never proven wrong on that one. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, again, we'll keep you guys posted as we know more. Rumors are, some people are reporting outside of North America. Some are reporting Saudi. Some are reporting London. Some are reporting Vegas. and everybody knows an insider apparently. So yeah, bro.
Well, and it's one of those, it's such an unprecedented situation that even when Anthony first sent it, I think, at least for me, I was very much like, nah, you bullshitting. Like, that's not a thing. Like, that's some, double check your sources, like triple check them, make sure that that's an actual thing. And I guess it's official like a referee whistle.
Yeah, I wish. I know we got to get to the rest of it, but I just wish that Saudi is not the one. They already got the Royal Rumble. They don't need WrestleMania 2.
I think that would sour a lot of people.
Yeah,
I don't like that decision.
Yeah, that you want to talk about pricing people out. I don't have Saudi oil money. I definitely don't. I don't have Vegas WrestleMania money. I definitely don't have Saudi oil money.
It's too funny, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, we don't know more. I encourage the IWC to not melt down, not freak out. Again, you don't work there. You're not like the people that I love are like they're in like San Diego. Like, I can't believe they're not going to New Orleans. Like, shut up. Like, we don't know what happened.
Again, we just need you don't work there.
Right, you don't work there. What's up, folks? What's up? Welcome. Yes, all right. Back to the thought at hand here. Tessa Blanchard's going to fight Ariana Grace. Tessa will have Mark. I almost said Mark Sterling. But Tessa will have Mark Stone.
Robert Stone.
My God, I glitched live.
I got you.
And Daddy Santino on the other side. So Mark Sterling, I've seen way too much of him lately, apparently.
Apparently, is he your go-to attorney, much like MJF and the Hurt Syndicate and everything? You're a smart guy. This is Santino, Cobra, Ariana Grace, Baby Cobra, Baby, all of this. Yeah.
Baby Cobra.
100%. I can't cheer or pick Tessa. I know, but I can't. And I want me some Ariana Grace. I think she's fantastic. And this feels, again, a little throwaway. This is like GMs fighting over GM things. It feels like it doesn't feel like much of a story. So Ariana wins.
Is there any additional like stip or anything to this? Like,
no, not that I know. Not that I know of. I just know Tessa and Ariana have been back and forth at each other's throats. Last week, Tessa slapped Ariana, and then it was like, boom, we have a match. That's kind of how this all came together. I mean, I've never seen Ariana in a match before. I don't know how she wrestles. I'm just gonna go with the safe bet and take Tessa because I know how she wrestles and I know she delivers every time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. I find that very hard to disagree with. Whether we love her or hate her, I think that's what we're getting. So, yeah,
I'm still going Ariana Grace. Well, and Anthony, if you can correct me or find where I'm missing this or whatever, because wasn't Robert Stone and Santino fighting at one point over like who's controlling in charge of TNA a little bit? Is this still attached to this? I feel
that's all attached to it. So Santino is the director of authority. I'm not sure if it's Robert Stone or actually Victoria Crawford or both of them, but they're the deputy directors of authority. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, they're still kind of feuding together.
So Cobra, I go Cobra. I want Cobra running the show. John Cena.
So we are all in agreement, including the chat, who went 83% Tessa. So Tessa, heavy favorite.
I'm not in agreement. I took Ariana.
Oh yeah, you are the exception.
I am the exception. I am the Cobra.
My bad. You're going. There you go. Another Canadian I didn't vote for. Just pointing that out.
Well, they pretend to be Italian, so I got to go with them.
AJ Francis, Mike Santana should be a hell of a match. Maybe.
Yeah, this actually may be fun. AJ Francis versus Nick Nemeth at Final Resolution surprised me about how well AJ can go as a singles competitor in the ring. So if there's a match that I'm most excited about, I am kind of excited about this. I know they've been butting heads over the past couple of weeks with backstage segments and things of that sort, but we're also trying to move Mike Santana into potentially being the one to dethrone Joe Hendry, but I have a theory about that I'll say for that actual match later. But I like this. Out of all the matches on Under Siege, I like this, but I'm taking Mike Santana.
I think I know your theory, Anthony, so I won't say or guess towards anything with it, but I will take Mike Santana for this. But I've become a fan of AJ Francis. I know we've poo-pooed him and foo-fooed him a bit, but he's a good big man. He works really well in TNA. I like that this is going to be a solid match. AJ's established himself as a better guy in TNA. But I think Mike Santana is just still that guy. Yeah, played by Carlos Santana. But no, he is very much that guy, I feel, right now in TNA.
Yeah, it's his time. It's his run. I think he's got a chance here to continue to really grow, and he's done great. Absolutely great. So, yeah, a nice addition to this card. I think this has potential to be one of the better matches on Under Siege. And Mike Santana, I think, continues his momentum.
Right.
Yeah,
56% of the chat going with Santana as well. So not bad. A bit of a split.
Surprised it's close.
Well, could it be something that continues past Under Siege? Is my only could AJ steal one?
True, especially with Casey Navarro out there. You know, Ali still and his 4 horsemen and all that are still running amok.
Yeah. And then I think is it Against All Odds? I think Against All Odds is like 2 weeks away. So if they wanted to run it back real quick, they could run it back at Against All Odds if they wanted to.
Okay.
Oops. Run it back with a step.
Yeah.
I know what match was on pulled up just by that man's face right there. This is the match that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends.
The way I wanted to rant last week when they announced this after, the reason why they didn't announce this on TNA Impact because they didn't want to hear it from the fans, because we are sick of this match. This match has happened. I'm guessing at least 7 times from October to now. And at this point, the stipulation behind this match is if Spitfire loses, they have to disband. If they lose, then just take the titles away. There's no other tag teams in the division. So we're going to split them up for Ash and Heather to defend them against who? No one. So that's why Spitfire is going to win the tag team titles, because they don't want to split them up. Or unless this is their plan to sunset the tag team titles, then this could be the way where Elegance takes the win here and we sunset the tag team titles. The tag team titles for the Knockouts is just as bad as the tag team titles for the women in WWE.
Right.
Well, I was going to say that you say that, well, they need more. We're sick of seeing this match, but they have no other teams to face. So what would you have them do? I think you're bookending it, to where you've almost got to phase them out if you're not going to bring any other teams or anything in. I mean, all due respect, I love me some Spitfire, especially some Danny Luna. I have to always pick them because KJ will never pick Jody Threat in any match, in any way, in any stipulation, even if she was facing herself. But so yeah, this is just kind of a nothing burger. I feel a little bit like I almost want Spitfire to lose so I can see a Danny Luna singles run.
Not bad. Yeah, I'm taking Jody Threat and Danny Luna.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting here quiet. You went on your rant. I was like, yes. This one's tough, but I think I'm stuck on the whole idea that if you split them up, then what? What do you do?
Yeah.
Do they just go hold them for a while until someone else shows up?
Just end them. I think, honestly, it's even a little bit, Anthony mentioned the WWE division. We've talked about it when we had all the releases and so on and so forth. It feels like women's tag team wrestling is going through the culling that men's tag team went through about 2 years ago and is still trying to recover from. And unfortunately, I don't think that their stock was high enough to really, withstand this. So we might see a washing of a lot of women's tag team belts now, especially if we're getting women's mid-card belts involved. We need women to fight for those belts too. So we've kind of killed women's tag team wrestling. Just at the end of this, send this into the abyss. This is the ring. Drop it into Mordor.
Right. Just in time for Tony Khan to introduce new tag titles.
Right. And
10 years too late.
And I think they were trying to spice up the Knockouts tag team division with including the WWE NXT teams, but then they released them. So it was like, I mean, that's not TNA's fault, but it was like they released them.
Right? What do you do?
So I don't know. I'm with I'm with KJ with taking Spitfire only because I want the Knockouts tag team division to succeed. And I want them to grow that tag team division. I don't know why they didn't sign those two women that were on the show probably about 2 months ago. I can't remember their names, but they shouted out the channel because I talked about them when they showed up on TNA. I can't think of their names, but like they're a good shout to be in the division.
Tyreek?
No, it's there's two ladies.
No, he's talking about the women's tag. If you Anthony, let us know if they shouted us out. We gotta support these people. We gotta.
I can't remember the names.
This is a candle in the wind right now with the women's tag belt, so we're just trying to blow this thing and keep it alive.
I can't remember their names. I'm gonna have to go through my tweets to find them. But like, when I saw them, I was like, sign them immediately. And it's just like, I don't know. I want it to survive, but it got 2 feet and 1 hand in the grave at this point.
We're at this point, it's burning its fingertips here.
Yeah.
We're sick of seeing the same match go on, but we don't want to lose the tag team that's in the match because there's no other option here. We're down to the butt of the bread here.
Gritty. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Again, I'm right with both of you on how I'm going Jody Threat. I mean, again, maybe just because Nick said what he said, but I'm going Jody Threat.
I guess that means I'm going by elegance, even though I hate the goddamn manager for different reasons. That, we just let it die. Just sometimes you got to just pull the plug, I guess, of just it's cannibalized itself now to this point to where there is nothing that remains. It's literally, we have Spitfire win it, and then guess what? We run that match back because now they got a rematch, or they break up and there's no teams left. So we're at the bare minimum here.
Absolutely. Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, how you doing, Trey? I see you. I've seen Dawn. A few other people have popped in. If I haven't said your name yet, keep saying hello. But the next match is really interesting for a couple reasons. But the tag titles are on the line as the brothers, the Nemesis, are going to take on.
Where's Mike Tyson playing Resident Evil? I'm fighting the Nemesis.
The Nemesis are going to take on the Hardys or Matt Hardy and Leon Slater. How do we feel about this one at all?
I guess because they kind of had the Hardys align themselves with Leon Slater. I'm slightly excited for it. Obviously the Nemesis are going to win, and the only reason why this Leon Slater is the replacement is because Jeff Hardy can't go into Canada. So like they had to figure out some kind of way to get Matt Hardy on the card. I think it'll be a fun match between these two teams, but obviously the Nemesis are taking the victory.
Right.
Oh, but who eats the? Well, Matt's then going to eat the pen because well, Anthony, I'll ask you this because you mentioned before you were a big fan of Leon Slater as he's a phenomenal find for TNA. Is he TNA's like? Can he be TNA's Jeff Hardy? I mean, it's apropos that he's replaced him in this match and everything, but he's the young high flyer, the guy that they can make an in-house star type of thing. Could this be his breakthrough moment of he's kind of in there with a bunch of vets?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they've really been pushing Leon very hard and, having him in the main event picture, in the main event scene. And I personally believe Leon is the one taking the X Division title away from Moose. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it'll be fun to watch. He's the next big top high flyer for TNA. I don't know how long his initial contract is. I just hope they keep him around.
Yeah, because if not, he'll be teaming with Javon Evans real soon.
Right.
Put them as a fucking tag team somewhere. They're the new Hardy Boys.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna go the brothers just because Matt and Leon are makeshift, and again, we've kind of built it up. I know they gave us a reason outside of he's not allowed for Jeff not to be here. I mean, again, I think it should be a fun match. Dolph rarely has bad matches. I haven't watched a whole lot of his brother, but when he gets the job, he knows what he's doing. So I think this will be all right.
To buck the system, I'm going to go off the wall, and I'm going to take Matt Hardy and Leon Slater of the new Jeff Hardy, and maybe that's the story that we start to tell if he's the new Jeff Hardy, and then, well, Jeff, your problems and everything have always gotten in the way, and you couldn't be there, so sorry, but you've got to deal with this. If that becomes a story of even we get a Matt versus Jeff story, like I said, probably unlikely. But if TNA decides to go that way, I don't mind it.
Okay. I don't mind it. I mean, interesting. I like that kind of take to it.
It just be a way to subvert it being so obvious of like, hey, well, Jeff can't make it into Canada, which is surprising. But just because it's Canada. But we
don't want your problems.
You are our problems.
No. The call coming from within the house, my bro.
Okay, from inside the house. But that's the thing is, if it seems so obvious that just because Jeff is in there that they're losing. So how do I get around the obvious? And I go that way with it.
Right? You're not wrong. I like it.
True.
I don't see it happening, but I like the idea.
Oh, neither do I, even though I said it.
The chat is going for going the other way as well, where they got they only voted on where's the last one? Doesn't matter. But 63% for the Nemeth brothers, the Nemethith. I have a question about this match. Steve Macklin is supposed to fight Matt Cardona. Steve Macklin reportedly has a fractured skull.
Oh, what?
What?
Yeah, thank you, internet.
Was this announced though? Because I haven't seen this anywhere.
Yeah, what medical records are you hiding there?
Oh, I'm talking about the
match.
I'm talking about the match. I haven't I don't see it on the TNA website.
I didn't see it on the TNA website either. So this is the question I had. It says Matt Cardona is set to challenge Steve Macklin for TNA International title at Under Siege. This is according to WrestleZone. Cage Side Seats is reporting it as well, but it's not on the TNA website as of yet. So I don't know. And I also read
two sources.
There's several
saying that this man is set up, that they booked this man into a pay-per-view match with a fractured skull.
No, okay. So several sources are reporting that the match is happening, and one source reported that Macklin has they use the word like minor skull fracture, which get the fuck out of here with that terminology.
Right. What is a minor skull fracture? I don't give a hangnail up there. That's my skull.
So I don't know, Anthony, Nick, if either of you have any insight to this as far as is it happening?
The only thing I can think of is that since it was pre-recorded, it may be announced during tonight's episode that it's happening at Under Siege.
Oh, okay.
I am scrolling through Twitter and they're actually announcing other matches for Under Siege.
Yeah.
So this could be the case.
So, okay. And I have a report. So a BioFlex TNA injury report video package confirmed that Macklin sustained a minor skull fracture, multiple lacerations and extreme blood loss. So is that's fake? Are we going with fade with that?
Maybe,
because apparently he's wrestling with a minor.
I don't even know how you can minorly fracture your skull. I don't.
Your brain is leaking out, but it's minor. Don't worry.
I'm literally like the woman with the math equations meme right now. Of like, how is this a fucking thing that we're talking about? Like.
Right.
So are we figuring out if he's still having a match, if this is not supposed to be like,
I don't know.
Is he skull fracture? Like, what is a minor skull fracture? Like, with brain lacerations, that's a fucking term that was said, and we're just gonna skip by that. Like, no, that's full, that's
right.
What the baby shit is that?
So Fightful saying it as well, and they got a graphic here, and it says injury report: Macklin skull fracture out. and that's Fightful.
Well,
He
because
got he got it apparently following the dog collar match with EY. He has a minor.
did they just find this out? Well, and then now
No.
you can't have this be a thing that comes out, and now it's known allegedly to some people that you had a man with a fucking skull fracture wrestle a match. So
Like, does he
even
wear
if
a
it ain't
helmet?
true, he has to be out now.
Does he have to wear a helmet like Josh Alexander? What happens here?
Well, no, this should be a goddamn football helmet with a skull fracture.
Well, we don't want another Shibata case where they got to pull it out and put it back
Transplant
in.
brains and everything. Yeah.
Not mocking anyone's unfortunate circumstances, folks.
No, just mocking shitty reporting.
If this match happens, Macklin's winning, even though he's
No, if this match happens, he's losing. He's fucking losing. You're gonna have the guy with the goddamn his skull might split in half, but he will win.
Anthony's reaction to all of that killed me.
Because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I see the injury report. This is from TNA, the BioLife injury report, or BioFlex, I should say.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen anything like this. I don't know.
Well, are they announcing that they're pulling him from the match? Or are they just
the
announcing that he has a fucking skull fracture?
Well, the match hasn't been announced because it's not on the TNA website. So
it's on my Wikipedia page. So that's why I'm like, that's why I've been halfway confused with all of this. So that's why I'm like, what?
So but the reporting, he is okay to wrestle on Friday, in Brampton, which is like 40 minutes to my left. But it's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know. Does he win? You can't wrestle with a fractured skull? And if it's kayfabe, did you go too far?
Should we just chalk this whole thing up as non-applicable because we don't know if this match is happening? We don't know who's in this match. What's going on? This is NA, non-applicable.
I'm kind of with Nick. I can this is NA.
I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah. The man with his brain leaking out is
I have half the brain that you do, Matt.
Right. I mean, Cardona might get a lot of heat if he beats the guy with a fractured skull.
Just stop. All
right, we'll leave this as NA. I'm still saying if it happens, it doesn't matter because Macklin's going to win. 62% of the chat took Macklin. But on to some cross-promotional affairs as Trick Williams teams up with our buddy Frankie to take on Joe and Elijah,
Ezekiel,
Eli, Drake.
Yeah.
All right, I have a theory, but I really want to save that for the battleground.
Okay.
But if my theory works, then I'm just gonna say Trick and Frankie win. I'll just say it like that.
Okay.
You, sir, in the middle.
I think I'm kind of with Anthony. I think that Trick wins here, Joe loses there. Oh no. Yeah.
No.
Trick wins here, Joe wins there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh God, I'm gonna say it. Then spoiler alert for later. Trick loses here, Trick wins there.
Oh, okay. So Joe.
I think this is Joe Hendry and Elijah. I think this is the two-man concert tour instead of the two-man power trip. I think they get the win. I really like Elijah, Ezekiel, whatever name you want to give this man at this point. I like him in TNA. I'm almost still waiting for. I thought a time that there was going to be him as a heel versus Joe Hendry, but I think he gets to win. I don't give a shit about Kazarian. He is NPC in this goddamn match. This is Trick playing with the fucking bot. I feel. Right. So he loses to Hendry and Elijah. And spoiler alert, we'll talk about Battleground later.
Facts. Yep. I think all the above fit. I like your theory. I'm going to stick with Frankie and Trick to win this one. I think it tells a bigger story, but we'll wait and see. This one will tie in, but I like it.
I'm still wondering if we're tying it in the same bow. We're just coming at it from different ends of the
It's
ribbon.
quite possible.
Yeah,
54% of the chat are taking tricks, so it's not a slam dunk by any means.
Yeah.
So neck and neck.
But again, no, this is though, and I will say this as briefly as
I did see
why
this.
I felt that Trick versus Joe should have been on this card versus on Battleground because it's arguably the second or third best match on Battleground versus this clearly sets head and shoulders, knees and toes above with Under Siege here.
Yeah, but they're doing a thing, dude. Like you can't do the thing without doing the thing. Like it's
you
the
can
first
still
time.
do the thing with
You can't have the first ever.
You can still do the thing in a different area.
Yeah, no, but Under Siege is your $12.99 fucking no offense, specialty show. It should be on a Thursday night instead of Impact when they do these. But it's not like a major pay-per-view. They got other major pay-per-views coming up, and the idea that they're going to defend the TNA title on a WWE produced show for the first time, they kind of got to do it, right? Like so. I don't think that match needs to be here. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm okay with this too. And after some of the announcements that they've made so far with Under Siege, I kind of regret saying I'm not looking forward to it. They got some new matches going down, which seems exciting. So we'll see what they like. The Order 4 match versus the Rascals, Indy Hartwell, and a mystery opponent. Like I think that might be really good. So
yes,
we'll see.
So yes, that has been added. Rosemary and Zaya Brookside as well.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, I don't love the last minute, but we know the tape nature of this show. But yeah, so 2 more matches added to Under Siege.
Right.
Oh, that's it. That's all for Under Siege.
Well, no, I have a match, and I don't know. Anthony, is there a Knockouts Women's World Title match on Under Siege?
Yeah, we forgot about that one. Victoria Crawford versus Masha.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
I guess it's so important that we completely forgot about it. Anyone taking Victoria Crawford? Anyone taking Foxy?
No, that's
all right.
We all taking Masha, so we can move on. I think.
There you go. Overall, how we feel? I mean, again, we kind of already touched on it. Under Siege, I think we're not expecting it should be good. They're always pretty good with TNA. It has a real good opportunity to overachieve, I think.
Yeah, I mean, going into this, I was like, but now with some of the matches more coming out, I'm like, okay, it's shaping up to be pretty good. So I'm a little excited now. I think I was just disappointed with TNA as a whole last week, not doing much for Under Siege on Impact, but it seems like they're doing a little bit tonight. So we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Right.
Well, and I think it'll be good. I still, out of the 4 shows, and this is not an insult, it's more of just the Murderers Row you're against. I still have it probably number 4 on my coming out of the weekend and where it ends out. Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Lennox? What up, Lennox? So, folks, if you're following along at home, that is Under Siege. Don't forget you can comment after the video goes live, after we go off the air. By all means, comment your predictions, your thoughts. And of course, the prediction title will be on the line Friday. It will be on the line Saturday. It will be on the line Sunday. So we can have 3 new champs all in one weekend. So get in there and don't miss your chance to win the title. But that being said, Saturday night main event, the quarterly special. Again, not a pay-per-view, a bit of a special show for fun. What's that?
I just said technically.
Yeah, no, technically it's not a pay-per-view or a PLE. So again, 4 matches have been announced. It should be a fun one. I like what they've booked for it. We'll have some segments and stuff as well. So how are we feeling about Saturday main event?
It's 4 matches. It's a nice little aperitif. It is a little, tasting, I think, of some wrestling on a Saturday. There's some matches that I think, like the match underneath us right now, maybe if I've seen it enough, I don't need to see any more iterations of it. I think there's some matches that are going to be
Okay.
really fun matches. We kind of know probably how they're going to go, or at least I think I do. But yeah,
I know of 3 of the matches. So this one, the Cena match, the Jey Uso match. What's the 4th one?
Punk, Sammy versus Seth and Braun.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be good. Sorry, Anthony, I think you were going to say more than that.
Oh, no, I was done after that.
No, I wasn't. I was good.
I really didn't know the 4th match.
I think it's going to be good. I like these quarterly shows. They're kind of fun. They're a little different, the old retro vibe. But I know you mentioned this, Nick. I kind of know why, but Damian Drew in a cage, I'm excited for this. I like the fact that this has been an ongoing rivalry. I think these 2 big men have done well. They've popped up on each other, cost each other opportunities. So, yeah, put them in a cage. I think that's going to be great. I think the other couple matches are more for show. But overall, I think we are going to get that, that's it, a special show, Night of Champions, Saturday Night Main Event. But it's well booked. It's definitely got a lot to look forward to.
I felt like Nick until you said this was in a cage, because I didn't know that. So that's a nice element. Adding these 2.
Apparently, it's not a cool thing to feel like Nick.
Adding these 2 in a cage with this is a stipulation. All right, I can see I can go here with this match. I don't know who would take it here, who would take the victory. I'm gonna just go I'm gonna go Drew McIntyre.
Yo, I'm shocked by the chat. Sorry, Nick. I know you're gonna give your vote, but I'm surprised with how many Damians are in the chat.
Because he's feeling beloved right now. He is getting pushed over. He's got a street named after him in New York and everything. He's getting praised because of how much he's been banged up and everything, which is why he's losing this match. This is my version of Anthony with, Ash by Elegance and Spitfire of I've seen it with Stips. I've seen it with green eggs and ham, Sam. I am sick of seeing this goddamn match. Drew McIntyre wins this. Damian takes some time off, and I think it allows him to hit a refresh. Damian is in this nether region, pardon my terms.
To you. The fans are behind. Look at this. He's
still got half that Judgment Day stank on him. He's still been caught up in this whole feud with Drew McIntyre. What else is he going to do? What if he wins this? What's next for Damian Priest?
Maybe he goes after a world title. Maybe he goes back after the U.S. champion. That's kind of the U.S. division right now. So Damian going back after a Jacob, maybe. I don't see it, but maybe.
If he's banged up, you let him take some time. You come back, you refresh. You are the Archer of Infamy.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I know that you don't love Damian, but
I love Damian. I hate the way that they've booked him, in my opinion.
He's been booked great. He's a former world champion, now taking on Drew McIntyre in an ongoing feud. He's killed it. I mean, the guy got to cash in at WrestleMania, bro. He looked great. I wish they would work him better. He should be the owner of the company.
Do we end it here between those 2, though? Should it end at Saturday night?
Yeah. Blow off.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I think we can all agree on that.
I'm going Drew McIntyre, though.
I'm gonna fight you. You got a hoodie on. I'm gonna pull that hood up and just
right. The chat's taking Damian. I'm taking Drew.
Damian's getting pushed very much as that. Like I said, he's got a street named after him now in New York. They're getting behind him a ton-ish, or they're kind of pushing him as the babyface. I just feel like he character-wise needs a true refresh.
But they're getting behind him.
What?
You just said they're getting behind him. They just named a street after him. So now is the time to take a refresh? Yeah,
he's banged up. He's banged up. If
everyone takes a break,
if we need to do a whole news story about how WWE's so behind this man because he's still going after he's banged up, if that needs to be a news story, then he's that banged up that he needs to take a break. So then what are we talking about? Like,
so your big concern is
not that banged up that we don't need to do a news story, then I guess we didn't need to do a news story. So what the fuck are we doing?
I don't know, but he's so hot right now. Hansel, he's so hot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Drew won at WrestleMania, and Priest will win at Saturday main event. And there you go. So we might run it back at SummerSlam.
Fuck.
Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. They'll
Money in
both
the
qualify. Yeah, they'll both qualify. I vote Damien. A lot of people are going Damien.
You can have that. I guess that's clearly what I'm mad at.
I'm shocked. All right. Okay. So Anthony, where are you going?
I'm with you. I'm taking Drew.
Okay. There
Yeah.
you go. And you were officially
Everybody's on Drew, but I'm the crazy person.
Well, it's again, I mean, there's a difference between Drew's gonna win and this sucks.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Speaking of you being over it, it's not gonna get any better.
God damn it.
Some Jey Uso is gonna eat and defend his championship against Logan Paul. How we feeling?
He's gonna win because we've already set up Gunther, and then probably even a bit beyond that, we've set up Seth Rollins. I don't see Logan Paul, as talented as he may be. I don't see him versus Gunther. I don't see him especially versus Seth Rollins. Because that you're making the biggest heels than baby faces.
But remember, we were kind of making Gunther kind of babyface as of late, right? And he's getting a lot of cheers.
Because he was in a segment with Logan.
Exactly.
Right. But so then if you put him in more with Jey Uso, you stack the deck. And if Gunther's going to be the babyface, so then what? We're going to get Gunther versus Seth take the title?
Seth could. But that, I mean, if Logan Paul's the champion, it changes the game altogether.
I think Seth takes the title off of Jey. I think Jey wins this. Jey beats Gunther. Jey loses to Seth.
Lose to Seth at SummerSlam?
Yep.
All right.
I'm taking Jey, but if they want to give it to Logan Paul, Logan Paul.
What did I do to y'all?
I'm just saying, I will not be upset. I
would be thoroughly upset.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, I'm not gonna be. I made this one of my bold predictions for 2025 that Logan Paul would win the title. I don't know if this is the moment because of other things that are in place.
Right.
Like you said, Jey. We already know that that Phoenix match is coming up in Arizona, where Jey Gunther's kind of set up. It would be weird all of a sudden if it was Logan Gunther. But I think Logan's going to be sniffing around that title. He could also be sniffing around Money in the Bank. So hold on tight for that. I don't know, man. I see the gold in his future, but Jay's going to retain for now. Jay's so on fire.
If I had to pick between the two, I would take Logan wins Money in the Bank versus Logan wins the world title here. Excuse me. I think that we've now very clearly and obviously started to stack the deck against Jey Uso, who already we kind of felt was maybe at best a transitional champ, was there kind of because his gimmick got over. And now we line up the Murderers Rose and that's in front of him. He already sat there and faced Seth Rollins for the world title on a Monday Night Raw. So I think he wins here. You still keep going with that momentum. He probably goes over Gunther. And Gunther's still such a wild card in this whole situation, because if he faces Logan, you cheer for Gunther to beat the shit out of Gunther. And if there's a guy who's going to beat the shit out of Logan, it's going to be Gunther. A la everybody that wanted Gunther to destroy McAfee.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I mean, I don't think necessarily the end part, but ultimately, I mean, what if Gunther is the guy that, Gunther cost Jey, Jay's mad, has to run after Gunther, Logan gets to run away with the belt and not fight either one of them?
Oh, no. I don't like that.
It'd be really interesting.
Well, then you get a triple threat?
It could. I mean, it definitely could. They love triple threats.
But I think you even said it, though. I think it could end perfectly in a nice little crescendo of Jey loses to Seth at SummerSlam. That's Seth's kind of crowning moment as the top heel, the top guy on Monday Night Raw. And even if it's still a tangential, It's a shot across the bow at Roman there and everything. Of I took out your cousin here. Of you gonna show the fuck up, because I think WrestleMania 42, wherever it happens, is gonna have Seth Rollins versus Roman on it.
Okay. Anthony?
I just want to touch on Don's comment down here.
Uh,
I don't know Logan Paul outside of WWE. I don't know what he did. I don't care what, to know what he did. So my perception of Logan Paul is coming from what he's done
Right.
in the WWE ring. So if that offends you, I'm sorry. I am going to apologize, but I don't know Logan Paul outside of WWE. I don't know half of the celebrities outside of WWE. So
Well, it's super interesting, and that's why honestly I really like your take on stuff like that and everything like that, because I'm gonna admit I'm jaded because of how I feel about Logan Paul, period. So if you're judging him as he's a wrestler who is allegedly a celebrity, like that's a take I literally can't get. So yeah.
Okay. Breaking news real quick.
Oh God, we got more breaking news. We've got Skull Fractures, Ace Austin leaving, and WrestleMania changed. What else is more breaking news? 75
No,
matches.
it's staying put. So apparently Double or Nothing will not be on Triller due to Triller's horrible financial situation, according to sources.
Oh, okay.
So, folks, drop those super chats. We'll own Triller. We'll be airing all the shows. We won't have to worry about no copyrights because we'll be the copyright.
Right. All right. Back to the business at hand. So we're all taking Jay.
Yes.
64. I think it was 100% took. 100% took Jay.
Yeah.
Next match.
Ooh.
This one's hard. Big match. I agree with you. Seth needs to be around the title picture sooner than later. But Punk, Seth, that's long standing. But we get this tag match. Sammy gets involved. Braun's the new muscle. Who wins?
I love that from MDB, by the way. This news broke like truly. But Team Seth. And it's because of third man, and it's not Sammy. Austin Theory. It's perfect fantasy fan booking. Fuck it. I still think either way, Seth and Braun win this. I'm waiting for Punk versus Cena at some point this year. I don't want Sammy to turn heel because he is the moral compass of everything. He is just the true good. He is the baseline of he is the moral standard for everything. So just stay pure, stay golden, pony boy.
Nah, he turns. Sammy's the third man. He turns.
If he turns, is it bigger than Cena's heel turn? Is it Hogan? But who's the third man?
Right? I don't know if it's that epic.
I don't know if it'd be that epic if it's Sammy turning, but it is the logic, the logical choice here for Sammy to turn. And I actually think Braun and Seth, like, isn't this their first match together as a team?
Yes.
I feel like they need to win.
Yes.
I feel like they need to win this. So I'm taking Seth and Braun for the win. I'm gonna go with the Sammy heel turn at Saturday Night Main Event too.
Sammy heel turn. I like it, especially on Punk, because it works. It won't be a flat turn, because if he kicks Punk in the face, people are going to lose their mind.
If he turns, could that be the biggest moment of the weekend?
Yeah, could be. I mean, Double or Nothing is going to put up some moments. And some
but,
of them are going to be...
no one really, well, I don't want to say no one expects. I guess I just really don't want Sammy to turn. It would be that, because Sammy is that like true definition of I may lean away, but I always still kind of do morally what's right type of guy and everything. of even when he was a heel before, it was more because he felt he was slighted. He never was doing dastardly things or anything like that. He just always felt slighted. So if he was to truly align with Seth and Braun, that Sami Zayn with a spray tan, with that ginger ass haircut, with all of that, the beard and everything, you're not going to work. But for him to sit there and turn heel, I think it would be a huge moment because he's the pure good.
But Paul corrupts everything.
Paul was trying to send his ass to SmackDown.
Well,
and still, again, like I asked, does he have to get a spray tan like Paul, like Braun? Does he have to?
Yes.
Spray tan society.
Just blend right into his beard.
He's a visible man. You don't know where he is.
Right. Is there a chance that Punk and Sammy could win this some way, somehow? Does anyone see that making sense?
That's the only way a Roman Reigns pop up or anything. Which I don't know if we've talked about him allegedly being involved in Street Fighter, but
that's the rumor.
Yeah, so enjoy the tribal chief while we got him, because we might not have him for a long time. But do we get any sort of tie-in towards Roman here? Because Roman's still been adjacent to everything for Mania.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think so. But he did show up after Mania pissed off. So yes, sometime. Yeah. That's a good point.
Not at Saturday main event though, I feel.
No. But after Mania, he was mad about what happened. And we've seen him on a Raw, show up and ruin a cage match. And so yeah, does Roman come out and you think, oh shit, and then someone else comes out? I don't know. That's a really big curveball. You got a very good point.
Anthony, sorry.
No, that's really a good point. And if you want to spice up Saturday Night Main Event, having Roman return on this show would be pretty cool. It would bring some people to okay, Saturday Main Event does have some surprises, and it's just not a glorified Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. So I think having Roman return could play into it. I don't see it happening, but I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I think it's a story. You're telling a story too fast, I think, if you bring in Roman now. Because again, I still think 42, again, wherever it may happen, right, on this planet Earth, it might not even take place on this planet Earth. So, but I think Seth versus Roman's the story you tell there, and you can tie it all the way back to the Shield, and you can long play the shit out of that.
That's not a bad shout. I mean, it will be, a lot has to happen, but we got a lot of time. So absolutely, why not? I mean, there's no even viable argument against it. It's a great kind of theory to where this could all end up.
Fair enough. But 444, your point about Sammy being the pure protagonist is the same argument you could have made about Cena at one point. Well, we're talking about Cena at different points and Sammy at different points, but I see what you're saying. But how we feel about Cena versus R-Truth.
Well, friend of the channel. Let's go. R-Truth. Shut up. Sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
I think this will be a fun match, right? Yeah. History between these two. R-Truth is still believing that Cena is, a good guy at this point, or whatever he's thinking in his wild mind. This match was bound to happen on the collision course of Cena retiring. So this should be fun. Obviously Cena is winning, right? But this could be fun. What will really be cool is if R-Truth somewhat came to his senses and realized that John Cena is actually, a heel at this point, and maybe align himself with John Cena for a bit.
Ooh, the aligning. I do expect that kind of like epiphany moment where, Cena kind of breaks his heart and he snaps, and that's where the crowd kind of gets behind him and he gets all fired up. And I think these two guys are pros. I think these two guys are vets. Both of them are going to be Hall of Famers. R-Truth, I wanted this match so bad. He deserved it. And again, I hate using that word deserved, especially in something like,
Earned.
It earns fair, but he's definitely earned this spot. It makes sense with the long-term storytelling. Nobody thinks Truth's going to win. Nobody. But at the end of the day, this is going to be kind of a good time. And they're probably going to use this to pivot into whatever's next for Cena.
Who is your prediction, sir?
Cena?
Okay. Well, no, you said how everyone else felt. You never said how you felt.
Yeah, no, R-Truth is not winning. Either does we got one.
I don't know because it's a non-title. If this was a title match,
true.
I thought that you would have had a nice, really cool moment and everything to where you think he's gonna win, and then he doesn't win, and then boom, Bob's your uncle, John Cena wins, but it's non-title. And what if we hear adrenaline in my soul? Something, Cody Rhodes. And that's what gets R-Truth a non-title win. He wins over his childhood hero in a non-title match, and that it sets up still Cena going past this. We end this. We don't have to continue this. Cena can maybe go towards Cody, what have you. But R-Truth gets a big win and just a nice fucking feel-good moment. The man sat there and didn't have a feel-good moment even with the 24/7 title. Let's let this man go over his childhood hero. We can still continue this on with Cena versus Cody.
I like it. I like all of that. I don't even argue it. Do I think they're going to
bring it on? I'm prepared for an argument, and now you lay down your arms.
I'm with all of that. I think that would be amazing, and it doesn't even have to be. It could be anybody. I don't care who it is. Cody's a good choice, but Randy, like all of them. I don't care who it is.
I forgive you, I can forgive you, Ron.
Right? But yeah, like the non-title disclaimer kind of changes that perception. I know some fans out there, and I
gotta give a shout out to other Nick, Canadian Nick, out there. Anthony's favorite Nick out there with hot take. R-Truth wins this match purely because it's non-title and R-Truth Cena, and it's Cena versus Truth in another match for the title. I didn't go fully that way, but I'm in. Same minds. It's the Nick consciousness right there.
Right. I think the idea that R-Truth wins a non-title match by somehow the champ on a normal circumstance. I hate the champ being pinned. I talked about that with Tony Storm recently, but this is his retirement tour. I thought it was nice to give him the match, give him the dub. Holy shit. Yeah. Okay.
Nick Square. Yes. The Space Nick time Meridian and everything.
Right.
MTV, my name isn't Nick, but I want to be.
Anthony, where are you going with this one, Anthony?
I'm still gonna take Cena. And all the points were fair and could happen. I'm still gonna take Cena.
I just think it's the best moment. It's the best moment you can have of holy shit. Hey, WWE, you want to Dragon Balls over everything going on in the wrestling world this weekend? R-Truth just beat Cena. Fucking social media's sharing that shit nonstop for 48 hours. Memorial Day weekend. I got, hey, Bob, while you have this burger, you want to see R-Truth beat John Cena right now? We're not watching, Anarchy in the Arena, all that, but we're watching John Cena lose to R-Truth.
Right. No, I mean, dude, that sounds fun as hell. But that Saturday Night Main Event, it's going to be interesting. Again, some of the stuff has bigger implications than others, but the 4 matches that we know of are all great caliber matches. I would argue pay-per-view level matches across the board. And I think it's going to be a real fun show. So looking forward to Saturday, but on to Sunday, we are live 6 p.m. Remember, folks, we're here all weekend long for all your favorite wrestling. But first on the docket, we're going to go with NXT Battleground as it's less, and we'll see how fast we can get through this one. But Battleground, is it going to be fun?
Yeah.
First match, Hank and Tank taking on people. Taking on
the culling. Hank and Tank.
Tank.
For sure.
And Briggs, we even got Briggs out there teaming up with Hank and Tank here. Yeah, the culling of the what are they like? They're cool, but they haven't won shit.
That's my fear with the culling is if they just keep dropping matches, they got to win something.
Are they going to win this and then win the tag titles off of Hank and Tank?
They could. That's why the match.
I'm taking Hank and Tank for this one, though.
I'm also taking Hank and Tank for this one. Yeah, that one's easy peasy. It should be a fun match. Hank and Tank are a good time. Don't know what they're gonna do with the culling. A few people actually picking the culling. Let's see, 64% of the chat going Hank and Tank, and only 36. So, I mean, not huge favorites, but not bad. Tony D and Stacks, the grudge match. I'm surprised there is no stip. How does this one go?
Tony D? I feel
Stacks. This is the goddamn Departed. Stacks wins. Just fucking end this goddamn family. Tony's been in NXT for far too long. Like, piss or get off the pot at this point. If you're either gonna stay in NXT for the rest of your time, or we're gonna move you up and you can be an advanced Brooklyn brawler for all I can care.
You just want it over with, eh?
Well, what else do they do here? Like, so if Tony wins, so then what? Does he reclaim the family and we just start anew, like Chase U? Yeah, I know. We're just back to NXT stories that won't die. So you just stay in NXT.
He would still have the family, just minus Stacks, but I think that's the story here. Is Stacks,
but then you stay in NXT for your life.
Yeah, I don't think he can, but I don't know. He had, great North American Championship. What do you do with him on the main roster if that's the hope? I don't know about Tony, but it's Stacks' turn. Stacks ready.
Fair enough. Yeah. Stacks, half Stacks.
Stacks. Stacks for the win. All right, so let's see what the chat's saying. 67. Oh, jumped a little. 70%. So most people are going for Stacks.
It's just Tony's done everything in NXT. He's even challenged for the world title and lost.
He's never been the world champion
multiple times, though.
So that would be doing almost everything.
Well, I'm sorry if I go to the Super Bowl 3 times
and don't win. You know how I feel.
I think I still went to the fucking Super Bowl.
You didn't win the Super Bowl. Though. That's not doing everything. That's doing almost everything.
I went to the Super Bowl.
You doing but you didn't do everything. You missed the mark.
I can apparently do everything because he can't move the fuck on from NXT.
I mean, again, I don't feel like it's been like so drawn out. He's been kind of the North American champion. Yeah, I just don't know where he goes or where it takes this whole situation.
He's been there in NXT since the Sopranos were still on air.
Yeah, maybe a stretch. So official, easy on that one. Up next, the North American Women's Championship. Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan. Let's go.
Sol Ruka
for sure.
Ruka. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So wins this. This just got added this week. So wins. Tension with Zarya?
Yeah, I think so. I think Zarya did lose that match. You saw them bump into each other. Maybe Sol gets the win, turns around, gets flattened by Zarya. I mean, again, I know they're a bit of a tag team, but they don't seem too keen on women's tag teams right now. So, dun dun dun.
Right.
Does Zarya cost Sol?
Could. No, I don't want that.
Could. No.
Right. I did see this comment, Javon, from a couple of people. We will talk about it. It's not on my list because they just added it. Paragon versus the Don Callis family. Again, this falls into the why the fuck did you do that category?
0 hour. Here we go.
I guess the Bills should leave the league then. I haven't won a Super Bowl, but they've done everything.
Shut up, you.
I like it. But
we're gonna be on Hard Knocks. Shut up.
The chat is 80% Sol Ruka, heavy favorite on this one. Again, should be a really good match. That match could surprise everybody. Miles Bourne, Oba Femi for the world title. This one's interesting, guys.
This is the match I think surprises everybody. This is one that I think, again, Oba, you always expect just smash. Even when he was out there with Trick and all of that, of just he destroys, he walks through people. It's an easy decision here. I think that they're gonna do a tinge of that Daniel Bryan Danielson thing with Miles here. Of he might sneakily, like, I'm not saying he's gonna win, but you're gonna have one or two pinfalls that you think he could.
Oba's not losing this belt to Miles Bourne. If it
I
was
didn't
someone
say he
else,
was.
yeah, if it was someone else, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Oba is winning. And then after we had the surprise attack, I mean, I don't think Oba is winning. I think
Wait,
Oba is
what?
retaining. I'm sorry. I think Oba is retaining. And after having the surprise attack by Jasper Troy, I don't know where we're going from here.
Yeah.
Would love to see Miles Bourne have that pretty cool moment in winning the title, but it's just not happening at Battleground.
Yeah, I can't see it. But Jasper Troy's an X factor, but I think that sets up after Bourne very nicely.
Yeah.
I think you'll have Miles Bourne that'll have that moment to where, holy shit, they might actually can do it. Get compelled into the match, and then Oba will kick out at 2 and then probably proceed to destroy the man. Yeah, Oba's winning this. I think that I like that. Again, we're putting new people, new faces in new places with like a Miles Bourne being in this situation.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. I mean, again, sometimes wrestling fans struggle with change, and why don't they book this person? And then you book them, and they're like, well, why are you booking him? He hasn't done nothing. Well, you got to do something, to do everything. You got to do something.
Facts.
The most intriguing match of the night, perhaps, Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. Can Trick Williams become the first ever non-TNA talent to be the TNA champion?
So I'll try my best to keep my theory short. First, I just want to say I do think Joe Hendry will retain. But if Trick Williams wins, I would love to see Trick Williams take on Mike Santana and Mike Santana win it for TNA, win it back from TNA, from NXT if Trick wins. I've been very kind of outspoken about how I feel about Joe Hendry's title reign. The most interesting it has been his involvement with Trick Williams. Before that, it really hasn't been the best title reign. I'm not talking about his appearances in WWE, anything like that. I'm just talking about the TNA title reign. It hasn't been great. So if you have the moment here to have Trick Williams take the title and you build up a feud with Mike Santana and Trick to Slammiversary, I would buy into that all the way. And we've already had the stare down kind of confrontation between Trick and Mike Santana. I would take Mike Santana versus Trick over Joe Hendry versus Mike Santana at Slammiversary.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, the instant reaction from people of look, there's the WWE doing what it does. Now they got the belt. TNA's just their bitch. That's going to be a thing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You never can make a wrestling fan happy regardless. So it's definitely going to be a thing. I would like, if this did transpire and Trick win the title, I would hope in the future, it would be a flip-flop too, where TNA wins an NXT title as well. But I really think Trick versus Mike Santana could really be fun to see and see how it unfolds.
I was just going to say, and this is why I said earlier, I think we're tying the same bow just from different ends of the ribbon here, because I think Trick wins here, and then we get to that match of him versus Mike Santana at whatever next big pay-per-view that we're going to do here.
Okay.
You build to that match, and then you can get Mike Santana's crowning moment, and you still get, if we're going to make this such a big deal of we've got to have Joe Hendry versus Trick here. It could be the first time that we're going to have an NXT person have a TNA title, and this is a last beacon of hope for Trick Williams and everything. So he wins it. Joe can, maybe even be involved in a triple threat, do what he needs to do, what have you. But we end up with Trick versus Santana. I think that's where we're going here. I think it's
Why do
much
we
more
think
the bigger moment if
Santana?
Trick wins than if Joe retains.
Yeah, I would agree with that last statement. But why Trick Mike?
Well, I know Mike Santana, after he wasted away with Mustafa Ali, his sights is on the TNA World Championship. That's the next night, the next live episode. He was like, I want the TNA World Champion, and I want the TNA World Championship. And at that present time, it's Joe Hendry. So I do think, especially with Slammiversary being in Mike Santana's hometown and being in New York, I think that just could be the big moment for Mike Santana.
Well, and like Anthony brought up too, of you had that moment where when Trick was showing up on TNA, of you have those two in the same hallway, kind of having that little, all right, having that little standoff kind of interaction there. Yeah. So if we're gonna say it's Santana's time, and respectfully, Joe Hendry might be closer to WWE than even he is now. Okay. So you get Trick versus Santana. You can build that up as a big match, and it feels fresh. And yeah.
Okay, so what happened? My last thing about this one, I'll throw.
I know the biggest thing is what do you do with Joe?
what happens to Joe?
WWE up there. He ends up on like I don't know, SummerSlam card. Like that's the thing, is it feels like if Joe loses this, though, that he's done with TNA, respectfully, like what else can he do?
I don't know. I mean, again, he hasn't been champion long.
So you can, if he does run it, in my mind, you can run it to where you can run this into a triple threat with Trick, Joe, and Mike Santana. You can run that into a triple threat. You can also run some type of bit in between or after, where Mike Santana blames Joe Hendry for TNA crashing and burning. I'm just throwing it out there, for him losing the title to a WWE talent. You can kind of run that a little bit too. Joe Hendry is out the door regardless, but that's not going to happen until the contract expires, which is at the end of the year, just like Jordan Grace. But you can do some one-off things with Joe Hendry until that time comes. And in a way, is you can do a Joe Hendry and Mike Santana type feud after. They don't really have anybody else in the win, so you kind of have to keep Joe Hendry in that title picture in the main scene. So he'll be around, most definitely.
So I mean, again, it's that's the hardest part to figure out with this whole situation. But it sounds like you're going Trick, I'm going Joe.
I'm still taking Joe. I'm
the only one going Trick.
Two Joes and a Trick. That's how we're rolling.
They walked into a bar.
All right. So what I have as my pick for the main event, as possible main event to everything going on, unless something epic is happening either with the Oba match, post match, or during this Trick Williams match. Stephanie Jordan could be the main event, because they could really show up and show out. Could be a match we talk about for a long time. This one should be fun, boys.
That visual already looks almost like a spoiler, I feel like, at this point. Of if you look closely, that might be on the shoulders of the challenger versus the champion here. I think this is Jordan Grace. Stephanie, we've seen it with Roxy. We already kind of knew Roxanne Perez, we kind of knew was going to get called up. Julia getting called up as fast as she did seems like a surprise. Stephanie might be on that fast track as well. So this might be Jordan Grace's division to run for a bit here.
Okay.
Yeah, they're about to give Jordan Grace that TNA run that she had with the title, with the NXT women's title. This is all Jordan Grace. If she doesn't win here, I'll be highly upset. But yeah, this is all Jordan Grace. She's taking it at Battleground.
Oh,
That's-
I'm so
that's
torn. I
somebody
kind of
else.
want I kind of just wanted to be like Steph, but you both are extremely on point as far as
If Steph wins, I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm gonna pick Steph tonight because maybe it just feels a little too easy for Jordan, like walking in. Maybe Jordan just misses this one and they run it back at the next one, or they run it back at somewhere else. And to get it on your first swing,
But she
yeah.
just missed it against Julia, and she's just missed it before. She's
Mhm.
come a bit wide right before, so I think she kicks this one through the
So
uprights.
she got at least two more in her, Nick. At least two more.
Hey, whoa now.
Listen to your heart. Yeah, right. I'm gonna go Steph. I'm going to Steph. I think they're gonna show up and show out. If this could 100% be Jordan's moment. Like, I think this is a coin toss. The chat split almost 50-50 for obvious reasons, man. Like, these two women can go. I hope it's a good match. I hope it's stiff in a lot of places. Shut up, Nick. But yeah, I think this one's gonna bang.
You didn't tell me to shut up on that one, so pause on that one.
But that's it. That's Battleground. I mean, it's a pretty solid card. Title matches throughout the whole card. I think this pay-per-view is going to be really good. The matches are going to do the talking for this one.
That's why I think top to bottom that has the most well-rounded card. So I think that's going to be the best overall show of the weekend.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that for sure. It's close. It's this one. I mean, we may have saved the best for last, depending on how you look at this at the moment. But the piece de resistance, the last thing we will be discussing this weekend as we get into a new week, will be AEW Double or Nothing, because it will run longer by probably double than Battleground.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
He's already adding stupid matches.
I don't care. Don't say that. I want to be here at the end of this. Don't say that.
Fucking Paragon versus the Callis family. Anyway,
well, they can paradigm shift over the fucking pre-show.
Right. Well, we got we'll be here live at 6 p.m. It's going to be a fun one, as always, folks. It's going to be a hell of a show. But AEW Double or Nothing. I know some fans that no matter what this company does, it's great. But to me, I'm sorry out there if you were like, let's go. This has been one of the most afterthought pay-per-views that Tony Khan has ever set up. It's up there with the year before's All Out. It's just an afterthought to everything. That doesn't mean there's not good stuff here. But my God, the build sucks on a lot of it. And there's stuff that should be on it that isn't. And there's stuff that's on it that shouldn't be. So it's a bit of a clusterfuck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Double or Nothing has kind of been like the build towards it hasn't been much of anything. And that's the struggle when it comes to AEW sometimes, because I'll say about 75 to 80% of the time that their pay-per-view is probably going to deliver. But it's like getting to the pay-per-view is like pulling teeth.
Yeah, the builds are terrible.
No, I would almost take the builds over at times when we've got a 17-hour pay-per-view that, somehow still feels like 24 hours and everything. But it's always interesting that you've seen it now recently, especially with AEW only running selectively. Still, they've expanded, but they still run selectively a number of pay-per-views. Before it was All Out, that felt like an afterthought. Mm-hmm. Now we saw Double or Nothing being an afterthought months in advance, when they were pretty much already jumping from what was the last AEW pay-per-view right to All In and everything. So they've already almost moved past this pay-per-view. Like half of these predictions I feel are telling me what's going to happen in the next show versus anything that I give a shit about this show.
Right. No, I agree, man. I that's what drives me nuts is when you're selling us on Kenny Okada for all in. You're pointing at the all in sign. Everything feels like even the tournament finals are just a pole vault to a main, to a title shot at all in. Like everything is for all in. This feels a little forgotten, and we'll talk about the matches, but even the matches, how they came together. This first one, Mark Briscoe, Ricochet, barely interacted. They've had some back and forth. We've seen it. I love Mark Briscoe. I like Ricochet, especially as a wrestler. Like in the ring when he's not talking, he's pretty good. This should be a hell of a match. Why the fudge are we doing? I said fudge, I know, but why are we doing a stretcher match on the same night as Anarchy in the Arena? That to me is a foul.
It is a foul. It is a foot. All of that. Yeah. It's just, to me, it's the story already isn't exactly there. This is a solid Dynamite, a fucking Collision match. That's why I'm like, please, Tony, don't add anything else, because you already have matches like this on here. If this match is on here, we don't need to add shit. There's not anything that's more captivating than what we've already been building up for now 2 weeks, I guess, or however long it's been announced on the card, of Ricochet versus Briscoe in a stretcher match, which Mark needs to win, and he gets interference. He gets assistance from Zach Gowen, from Prince Nana, from anyone that Ricochet has ever slighted. The guy that was in one of the first battle royals in AEW with no legs. Oh, that just everyone that has any sort of slider issue versus Ricochet helps Mark Briscoe beat him.
Briscoe is not winning if he had 6 legs. This is not a thing. Like Ricochet is not losing this match.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Ricochet is winning this match all the way.
Wait, didn't I say Ricochet?
Yes, I'm the one who took Briscoe, and I converted this man. He said he let his intrusive thoughts come out.
Are you taking Ricochet?
Yes, I'm taking Ricochet.
All right. So there you go.
I'm taking Briscoe.
Ricochet's just, again, he's on the way up. Mark never wins. He's had, what, 3 wins?
You really just said Ricochet's on the way up?
As far as within that company, he's still one of the shiny new toys. So
no, he is the Twitter machine.
That's it. But Tony loves that shit. Tony thinks it's great. He probably gets in there every day.
Yeah, but what he should love is Mark Briscoe.
But he doesn't.
You've said this since he fucking signed with the company.
It's the same reason
why fucking problems,
it's
Tony.
The same reason why Briscoe gets put in the Owen Hart tournament is just to eat L's. He eats L.
I know, but goddamn it, clean your shit up, Tony. Deal with Mark. Like, let Mark Briscoe be a thing versus Twitter Shay.
Yeah, well, Ricochet's the guy for Tony on this one. There's no way Briscoe wins. None.
Right.
I 0% it.
Bye.
The chat going with Ricochet, but not huge, 65-ish%. This match again. What the fuck? Here we go. Let's talk about it.
Well, I got 2 sentences.
I mean, Mike Bailey chased Okada off screen. Boom, we got that. just like Ariana Grace and Tessa Blanchard was set up. A slap and we got a match.
Right.
Okada wins this, right? He has to.
Yes.
Like, not much to say here.
I think they're setting Kenny up for title versus title at All In, are they not?
We've said that for months in advance at this point. I'm just waiting for the fan edits of "You Think You're Special, You Do" between Kenny and Okada. Absolutely. Instead of a slap on TNA, we've got the 5 toes to the face on AEW. But yeah, no, Okada wins this. We're going to Kenny versus Okada. Again, this is the issue of All In. I know. Just book fucking All In at this point, because this is a nothing burger.
Well, again, the 2 matchups, like, no offense to Bailey, but as it stands right now, this would be a really good Dynamite main event. I don't know that this is a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
This is a Dynamite 9 o'clock top of the hour match. This ain't even
right. And Anthony, I mean, we constantly talk about you being the TNA guy. Speedball night, Josh, all coming together, and they don't feel special to me
They
right
don't
now.
feel special. Deanna, like I'm a die on the Deanna heel, like
Yeah.
because it's like these TNA talents come in and they're not being. Let's just compare Jordan Grace and her WWE NXT run right now compared to anybody from TNA that went to AEW. Who would you pick? Jordan Grace, right? So it's like I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. And it's going to be the same thing with Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is a shoo-in to go to WWE, and it's going to be Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace, and it's going to be the TNA talent that went to AEW. And it's sad.
Yeah, that's a problem.
They can't book their talent, so why can they book other people's talent?
Well, it's just, like, to me, if I like to try and break it down, but generally when you like buy something new and you're pumped about it, you want to like we always talk that it's his shiny new toys, but it's like he's obsessed with a handful of toys. Like Woody and the crew are have hijacked, and even if he gets a new toy, this is kind of the toys he loves the most.
Mhm.
So
So
this motherfucker keeps listening to Mr. Potato Head for some reason.
yeah, like unless I'm shocked, and that's funny, unless I get shocked completely, this match probably won't be good, which doesn't help Bailey, especially if it's a bad match that he loses.
Right.
This match will be all right, but we know who's winning
Right.
because it's setting up Okada versus Kenny. Like I'm surprised. I'm more surprised Kenny's in the Anarchy in the Arena because of diverticulitis and all of that. Versus Okada here. Okada's winning this. This is a way you still get Bailey on the show in some capacity. Bob's your uncle. We move on.
I'd rather Bailey versus Knight on the show.
Did you just say Naito?
Yeah, Nito, bring me Nito.
I was like, I'm gonna fight you.
All right, so everybody picking Okada? I did not. Yep. The chat was Okada's a strong favorite, but maybe not slam dunk. But the next match, the Owen Hart Championship, the women's side, the tournament final, Jamie Hayter, Mercedes Moné.
I mean, I'm gonna just say it. As much as I don't like, people putting a certain name at the end, this is all Mercedes Mahogan. So she's winning this.
Yes.
The Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? Yeah, respectfully, Mercedes is winning. And I feel so fucking bad for Jamie Hayter at this point.
I feel bad for all of them.
Well, they need a merciful ending here. But no, it's just, well, think about it. Jamie Hayter built herself up to where you had Haterade signs and everything.
Yes.
I was a proud member of the Haterade Nation and everything.
Yes.
And then she got injured and she went away.
Mm-hmm.
She stayed away. And she was still away.
Yeah.
And then even more away.
Uh-huh.
And even further away. And then she comes up showing up like fucking Daphne from fucking Scooby-Doo.
On a pre-show.
Right. And then is just going to get jobbed out to Mercedes Moné, who we can pay $100 to text an AI bot pretending to be her or read her fake fucking magazine.
The magazine. Oh my God. Here we go.
I didn't say nothing.
I feel bad for a lot of the women because I feel like Mercedes Moné is holding the AEW women's division back. I feel like she's holding it down. People keep talking about how she's elevating it and making it better. The only person she makes look good is herself. Mm-hmm. This should be a great match. If this match isn't a good match, a lot of people are going to be paying attention very closely. But this is going to be another one. Mercedes beats Hayter. Hayter goes missing. We just did it with Athena. Athena champion hasn't been pinned in 560 days. And Mercedes just stamped her on the forehead, sent her on her way. And here we are. So I think this is going to, and bringing in all these international talent so she can have these one-off matches. I said it, Mercedes may never lose that belt ever. And again, like the other matches we talked about, Mercedes and Tony feels like the build for All In.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the direction they're going in with Mercedes and Tony Storm, with Tony Storm, probably losing the women's world title at that point. But yeah, this is sadly all Mercedes. I don't know.
The
and then
two
she called
women's
herself the
matches on
Beyonce.
this show have the wrong dance partners. Of if it was Mercedes versus Mina, we've already halfway seen it with the New Japan Strong show and everything like that. I don't mind that, and it makes sense of Mina's trying to get back to Tony Storm because of Mariah, and Mercedes trying to do it because of wants to fucking Thanos conquer all. I really like the idea of I want to see a Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm match, but unfortunately we've got the fucking obstacle of Mercedes Moné in the middle of this that's preventing us to go around it. So give me that match now, and I'll deal with the Mercedes the Moné Storm match later.
Yeah, she's the Moné. It's fucking horrible.
That needs to be a fucking thing.
Moné. Like hashtag Moné, folks. Like that's the problem with her is there's better people on the roster. And I said this on this Wednesday. Every one of the AEW champions right now are boring as fuck. They're not. It's like Mercedes isn't an exciting champion. John Moxley's a mess. Like you go through them all. I would love for Hayter to win this and have really good matches against the Thunder Rosas, the Dianas, and build. Well, we might as well skip to it. We're going there next, but we'll lump them all together. But is anybody not picking Mercedes?
No, we are picking Mercedes. Mercedes Mahogan for the win. The Beyonce of women's wrestling for the
Beyonce.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drive a Mercedes versus a Hayter 4x4 any day. Yeah.
Right now, like even this match, there was a story that all like the Mariah May, Mina, Tony Storm rivalry, and Mina was kind of helping Mariah May, and this all could have built up. Oh, but wait, you ran a storyline, but then Mina had to go back to Japan, so you didn't plan
where
it
the
well.
Is Mariah May in all of this? The last we saw of her was when she might go to WWE, and now I ain't gonna give you shit about airtime because you might be leaving me. Mariah May is the crux to make this the best fucking story, or one of the best stories on this card.
Yeah. If a lot of people are hoping for it, but I don't know. It doesn't sound positive.
I'm hoping for
Mariah to come back.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, that's not possible. I don't think that's happening. I think Mariah May
I got you on a contract.
Yeah, where she wants to go. So he's just gonna, put her, in catering until it's time for her to go, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot to be in, Nick, as far as it's easy to say you have her under contract, but I'm not putting her on my TV and putting her over and having my fans cheer for her if I know that in 3 months she's out the door. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck it, write her off. I like
he has.
Yeah, but still, I'm gonna do the best money that I can. Why would I cripple myself and not do my best business just to try and get at so and so here? That's petty bullshit.
Yeah, ask Ricky Saints, ask Wardlow.
I know. But I'm saying for what I would do, of leave the petty bullshit aside, do what's best for my fucking business, and let the chips lie where they may. But this is pun intended, I guess, with Mariah May. But this is a little just fucking stupid ass backwards of like, you have a built-in story with this and you're choosing to ignore it because you're petty.
Well, and then you bring Mariah, when you brought Mina back, you sent her down to Ring of Honor, and then she won a match to get this match. There's no story amongst people that have a story. There's no story. What? They had one. Now, not only are you not writing,
I lost my lighter. That's what it is. I lost my lighter. Where's my lighter?
What have we done? Tony Storm. I love Tony Storm. Again, this match feels just thrown together. Not exactly a high level. Like to me, this doesn't feel like a pay-per-view level match. Not because of who's in it, but because of how we got here.
Yeah.
But again, Tony, Mercedes, all in. Tony's not losing to Mina. Maybe Mariah shows up.
Yeah, Tony's not losing to Mina. This was one of the matches I said at the beginning of the stream that I was excited for because both women can wrestle. So I'm excited for the aspect of that. But Tony is winning because, like you said, it's Tony versus Mercedes Mahogan at All In.
I like it.
Do we get the branch off timeline if we get Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm at All In? But Tony Storm wins this. I'm more upset of how good this match should mean a fuck ton, especially with how involved Mina Shirakawa was just involved in your past year of booking in this women's division. But I don't give a fuck about here now.
I guess not. Yeah, I mean, again, I think they didn't strike when the iron was hot. To me, it's kind of like the Darby thing. Darby picks a fight with Moxley and then goes and climbs the mountain.
Well, congratulations, he climbed that mountain and everything. But yes. Yeah, I think it'll still be a good match. I like Mina Shirakawa. She's very much if there is a person that's going to sign with AEW that was a free agent that you could very clearly see was an AEW talent, it was her. I think this would be a good match. Tony wins. I'm scared of how Mercedes Moné versus Tony Storm at All In ends. Does she go full Thanos and collect all the Infinity Stones?
Yes. Yeah. So she can say again, I think Tony is helping feed her ego. So she is backing up. She's telling everyone she's the best in the world. She's telling everyone she's the Beyonce of women's wrestling, like Anthony said. And she has a billionaire that's bankrolling her to all the belts to go. If she's and you see AEW tribalists go, oh yeah, Mercedes sucks. She has 4 titles. Let's be real.
I can show up to a fucking pay-per-view this weekend with 4 titles. That doesn't make me the greatest of all time. What are we talking about?
Breaking news: KJ and Nick Ford and Megan. Remember, Megan Bain was going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Versus Anna and Harley has been announced for Sunday. Is that a 0-hour match or what the fuck are we doing? Honestly, imagine putting Maxine Dupree and Natty versus fucking Chance and Carter at WrestleMania. People would have shit a cat. But no, this is a double or nothing match. I love Harley. Megan Bain's a star. What?
I just said 5 knuckle shuffle.
Right.
Penelope Ford, Megan Bain, who was supposed to be the world beater to Tony Storm,
right?
And how quickly that went by the wayside. And going into can we call them Ass Ketchum of Penelope or of Anna Jay and Harley Cameron?
Right.
As a women's tag team. Again, though, is it interesting that potentially as women's tag team wrestling's dying amongst the rest of the wrestling companies, AEW's trying to build theirs?
You see how well they're doing with their men's tag team division and the trio. So it sounds pretty, but what are you going to do about it? You only give the women 8 minutes a week.
Well, now you split it. You each get 4.
So official votes on Tony Mina.
Tony.
See, again, in sync. This match, again, awesome collision match. Maybe a dynamite match. This is not a pay-per-view match. Danny's not the guy. Nigel can't go. And FTR did a heel turn and got a heel manager to do fuck and all when the Hurt Syndicate is fighting Texas Toast.
I didn't even know this match was happening or
it shouldn't be.
Oh.
Don't worry. This match should be happening less than Matt Cardona versus King Macklin with a fractured skull, because Nigel, cool, you had your moment with Bryan Danielson. That should have been the culmination of Nigel's back and everything.
Yeah,
that should have been what that was. Now he's in here with Who Gives a Fuck Garcia, which that whole segment was awful. And FTR, boy howdy, have they been fucking ruined. At one point, arguably the greatest tag team
In the
of this
world.
decade, currently right now, and now they're an afterthought versus the Hurt Syndicate. Like FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate's the match you need to make, and instead we got this shit.
Well, Dax said, when we sign our next contract, it will be about our legacy. We want to leave a legacy, and we are going to sign with a contract that allows us to do that. They've done nothing since they've signed those contracts. They are banking on a money mark, and this is a horrible example of it. They were like you said, one of the best tag teams in the world. They could go down in history as one of the best tag teams ever, but they haven't done shit. And fighting this means nothing. I think Nigel's going to turn on Danny, but even that I don't care about.
It's nothing to care about in this match at all. It's like nothing.
But that's what pisses me off, though, is I should care about everything in this match. Right. I should care about FTR that just turned heel, that was about to attack Tony Schiavone, that's supposed to be your big dastardly heel, your top fucking heel tag team that's out there attacking announcers and everything. Daniel Garcia is your TNT champion and everything. I should give a shit about him. I had to pull through the memory banks to remember he's a TNT champion right now. Nigel, had that whole awkward segment, and it was supposed to be a big thing when he came back to wrestling, when he was taking on Bryan Danielson, and they even made that feel like an afterthought. Like, this should be so much more than it is, and it's upsetting.
Nigel, in all due respect, I love Nigel McGuinness, but at this time, like we watched him with Daniel Bryan, he is built like my grandfather. And my grandfather passed away several years ago. So it's not the greatest to build. It's a little bony. Not the greatest to build. But T's and P's, Gramps, I love you. And Nigel, again, and this is one of these things that are like exclusively Collision. So there's fans out there, there's podcasters out there that don't even know that this is happening. Like, you have to go out of your way and watch Collision to know, because they touched on it a little bit on Dynamite. Barely any.
Yeah, but when they touched on it on Dynamite, it was terrible. Like, that's the thing. Is like the moment it reached any bit of sunlight, it was awful.
Right? Yeah, this ain't it. FTR for the win.
Yeah. I guess so.
Fuck. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Well, in the category of not a pay-per-view match, the tag titles are on the defense as the Hurt Syndicate. MJF Scarf Man. I know we've run long, but I don't give a fuck. You're having fun. The Scarf Man.
You're having fun. Like, I'm just holding y'all hostage.
Did MJF's big moment get stepped all over by Dustin Rhodes not cutting a promo properly? Doesn't this guy teach how to cut a promo?
I'm going to say something, and I'm saying this more joking than I am being serious, but is this really the first thing that Dustin's might have stepped on before he got involved in it and everything like that? If you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. If you don't need to worry about it. But yeah, that's the thing. I think it's, props to Dustin for being sober for this long. But I was surprised that there was no Cedric Alexander involved in this. I'm still very intrigued of where we go, and I think this might be a lot longer play with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate than we thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit about the Sons of Texas at all, and you can tell they don't want Sammy Guevara to talk because they always worry that someone's going to boo the shit out of him. So what the fuck are we doing here?
A ventriloquist dummy. He literally just stands there. He's like a puppet.
Yeah, but it's funny because Dustin's the one that's painted up like he should be the puppet, but he just works Sammy over here. But I don't give a shit about this. Like,
but that's like the.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but that's several times breaking down this card, we felt that way.
That's
the issue.
Yeah, that's a problem. $50, fans. What do you mean?
In my hand. Put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me, yo. My jungle love. Yeah.
But, yeah, I just don't care. I just don't care. This is not pay-per-view level booking. And I don't give a shit what anyone says out there. This is not pay-per-view level booking.
No, and then no one saw, the Sons of Texas actually win their number one contender match on Collision last week because it was cut off. I was watching Collision and I was like, wait a minute. Why are we switching to a movie? We have 30 more minutes left. So nobody actually saw these two win the number one contendership match. So that's even less of a. I'm taking the Hurt Syndicate though. I don't know if anybody has made their predictions, but it's definitely the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, no one's taking Texas.
Yeah.
This ain't Texas.
The jobs at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
There you go.
Yeah. No, like that has to be the Hurt Syndicate at that point.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, it doesn't even make sense to go any other way, especially with what they're building, unless there's some type of weird ruse. But then the Sons of Texas are now your tag team champions, and that doesn't make any sense either.
Facts.
True.
Cedric Alexander to TNA. They have a mystery spot for tomorrow.
I don't see it being Cedric, but I don't know who it's going to be. But I am excited to see who teams up with the Roscoes and Indy Hartwell. I think that'd be fun.
I do think at some point we're getting Bobby Lashley versus MJF in AEW.
We should, yeah. That's what this should do. That's the
payoff. I'm saying down the road, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the payoff for all this angle has to be. Eventually, you fight the guy. And that's
we keep waiting for Cedric, though. That's the thing, is everyone's like waited with bated breath of like, when are they going to fuck over MJF for Cedric?
Yeah, no, Cedric shows up like next week. You missed your moment. The contract signing, which if you're going to do, dear Tony Khan, if you set up bullshit gimmicky things, that's because something's going to happen. We don't actually do them. We don't really do weigh-ins, and we don't really do contract signings. They're just set up so shit gets fucked up. You can beat somebody with a scale or put them through a table. Like, we're not supposed to.
The laws of wrestling. We need to make the book of the laws of wrestling and send it to Tony Khan.
It blew my mind that we build this. The best thing you have building outside of Osprey and Page, which we're about to talk about. But you have all this build, and then it's like, I'm on the Hurt Syndicate. Dun dun, here comes Dustin. Well, what do we do? Why? So it ruined it for me. I want to see where they go. I'm not giving up on the whole thing. It's one of the better booked things on AEW, but stupidity to just dump someone else in that moment. They should have had confetti and balloons, and MJF should have been jumping up and down like an idiot, like really selling that he's in, like Sammy did. Hug a few people. No, we gotta set up a nothing tag match. Sorry,
that'll be right Dustin's and Sammy's trios partner. Stupidity. You just booked it there.
Yeah, I don't get it. But speaking of not getting it, the saga continues like the Wu-Tang. Anarchy in the Arena has been announced, and there's some online debate about this one too. I don't know. Do you want to talk about everybody that's in it or not in it?
We want to name names, or we want to not name names?
We name names.
All right, I'm gonna name names. So Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Ops of Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Ops, and Kazuya, fucking goddamn it, Shibata, versus the Death Riders, John Moxley, Claudio, Marina Shafir, Yuta, the Young Bucks. No Gabe Kidd, although he's been all but a peripheral figure. The rumors, the accusations, the allegations are we could very much see a Eddie Kingston show up to combat, to counteract a la Gabe Kidd. We could still got the potential of a Hook, all that. Yeah.
No. Well, no, I mean, Gabe Kidd being part of the build and you didn't put him in the match is kind of weird for me. You think
is he assigned talent or is he on a work
then why is
release
he in the
program?
build?
Is he a free
Why is he
agent? What
there?
happened?
Why is he here then? Why does
I
Cody
don't fucking know. What? I'm not Tony Khan. Ask him, not me. I don't know. I don't get it either.
He has almost 40 women signed. We see 6 of them. We have fucking 90 men signed. We see 12 of them. Like, why not? If you're going to make him a part of the angle and part of the reason why Joe didn't win, then he should be in this match. If you're just saving him for a run-in, then don't have him involved. You have talent that can do this shit.
But no, he's the peripheral. He's the only attention grabber here. He's the only thing that anyone gives a shit about is Gabe Kidd.
You think that's the only?
Well, no, he's the one that swerved, like that, pun intended, I guess, swerved the attention of that. People started to give more of a shit about all of this and everything when he showed up.
Well, it depends who you ask, because I still don't care, and other people cared from like they're fucking absolutely dialed in.
Travis Scott feuds of wrestling.
Are you surprised, Anthony? Are you surprised they put Willow and Marina in this, or is it?
I was actually kind of surprised about that, putting Willow in Marina in this. I think that's what kind of, at least in my opinion, sold the match to me. Seeing those 2 women in it, I think they'll do well. But you know, I agree the Gabe Kidd should have been in this. He was a part of the bill, like that. He was there, and I got excited. You know, people online got excited, and then you announced the match, and Gabe Kidd is not in it. Is a little weird. But yeah, I'm excited for. I'm excited because I've never seen one before, so that's kind of why I'm excited for it.
This is the match that they're going to get away with the build or anything else because people are going to get caught up in all the stunts, like. From the other team, who was Moxie's biggest contender, he's not on this. Kenny's going to fight, but yet Swerve's not chasing Moxley right now. So the whole weird thing about him like being in here, Samoa Joe just fought him, but Samoa Joe's in a trio called the Ops, even though they team with other people. Kenny's going to fight Okada. So what the fuck's he doing in this cage? I have no idea why.
It's not even a cage.
Well, yeah. No, not in the cage. It's just in the arena. My bad. You know, nobody gives a shit about Yuta. I know Kenny and the Bucks have issues, but now you just smash them all together. And my biggest issue is this, whether people like it or not. The Bucks are the antithesis of anything and everything Moxley stands for. The Bucks and Moxley working together erases everything you've done with Mox. Mox was, you know, the whole Death Rider movement was to go against AEW and their booking and their system and blah, 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 blah. And there are the Bucks, and you're going to befriend them because they're not good enough to go babyface to chase them. So they're fucking it up. And I don't care about this at all. I've seen too many Anarchy in the Arena Stadium stampedes. They're all the same. Moxie's going to bleed. Several others are going to bleed. A lot of people are going to lay around for large portions of time. Willow and Marina are going to do a move off the stage, probably through a couple tables. And again, all the fans that are just watching for those moments are going to wet their pants and give it 20 stars and be thrilled. But it's going to be just like all the rest. They did 10 minutes of it on Dynamite for no reason. Fucking stupid
that was
shit.
Weird. That was definitely off-putting. That was weird. Like, why did we see that part of the match in Dynamite? I can't explain that.
It's selling the chaos. It's selling the calamity. I have multiple opinions on this, and I know I'm going. I want this to get closer to the end, but the Gabe Kidd thing I think is super interesting because of is he actually all elite? Is he just a freelancer? What have you?
You know he's not all elite.
But that's a good thing because he's fucking talented as well. Like that's the thing is he's talented beyond all of this.
You know he's not all elite though.
He's on a talent. He's on a work release program.
Right.
The chaos. I think this is the first Anarchy in the Arena, like you guys were talking about, that's actually had women and men involved in the same match and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Why are we assuming that Gabe Kidd's going to be in blood? I see a few people mention this. That Gabe Kidd's going to end up in Blood and Guts. When, like, in the fall? Okay. So
It's
then why is
just
he
because
here?
he's here now. Of where again, it's
Yeah.
typical
Right.
booking that way. Of we're gonna
Mhm.
just assume, well, you're there now, so you're gonna
Mhm.
be there later. But
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's right there. If Gabe Kidd had signed a contract, we would have known within
yeah,
seconds. That's
Right.
the dilemma. Now, I think it'd be hilarious. Gabe Kidd does Anarchy in the Arena, and the next day shows up on Raw. Perfect.
I'm all the fucking way for it. I'm a huge Gabe Kidd fan. I think
Right.
it's an interesting tie-in if he shows up as the outside factor for the heel team, and then Eddie, who Gabe's the one who put him on the sidelines. If
True.
Eddie can do it and is healthy, he shows up then. Yeah.
Watching Eddie,
It's Eddie or Hook. It's Eddie or Hook.
if it's
Pick
Hook,
one.
I'm gonna throw up. People are asking
Oh,
about Darby. Didn't that man just get off a
come see,
mountain?
come saw.
Like, I know Tony's like loves fronting the bill. Is Tony gonna fly this guy from Everest and get him back in time for Double or Nothing?
No, because then he should be the world champ versus the other two.
Very good, very good. Final votes on the Anarchy. Who's taking what?
I'm never gonna vote for the Death Riders for anything. So it's Kenny Omega and family.
I think the Death Riders have to win it.
I'm with you. Of the Death Riders win it, so they
I'm-
look strong going
Yeah,
into all in.
in.
And that's the thing is, I think
And
if
there's
you
probably
really read the tea leaves, you know where AEW's going in their booking for
Oh,
about 2
yeah.
months.
Well, tonight's predictions show that. And again, if they come true, because we're so in unison with our votes, we all feel the same way. Now this is an exception, but most of the time we've been kind of on point. Yeah, I mean, it's not the strongest of bookings. But that being said, the best thing on this card and the quality, this could save the show because I have very low hopes for the rest of it.
Best
But
match
this
of the weekend.
could be the match of the year if done right.
I won't say that because I think, spoiler alert, we might see this later on in the year again. So
Okay.
I won't say match of the year now.
Okay. How you feeling, Anth?
I'm excited for this one. I've been a Adam Page fan since he stepped foot in AEW. I've enjoyed everything he's done over the past year. He's really came into in a better character than what he was before. And Will Ospreay is just Will Ospreay at this point. You can't, there's not really much negative you can say about Will Ospreay. And out of everything they've built towards Dynamite, this has been the best right here. As much as I would love Page to win, this is definitely Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is definitely challenging for that world title, I would assume, at All In. And it's not a bad shout that it's not going to be Hangman. He's going to have his opportunity again, but this is Will's moment.
I thought that. I've begged for Will Ospreay to be the poster boy of this company. And the more and more I watch this online audience and watch the fans and watching the momentum right now, I believe Hangman Adam Page is going to be Will Ospreay, and he's going to be the one that goes after Moxley. I don't think it's the right choice. I don't think it's the smartest of choices. I think Will Ospreay should be the guy in this company, but I think the fans have gotten behind Adam Page. He was my MVP of 2024 for AEW, but I think it's Ospreay's time, like you do. But I think Tony's going to Tony it up.
We're gonna get there, though. That's the thing is, I agree with you, KJ. I think that back and forth promo segment was some of the best. It was probably one of Ospreay's best promos, and one of the best Hangman segments in a while. And it really reminded me of when he was downtrodden and he was, out there with, drinking all the beers and everything. He was out there with fucking Christ. Why am I blanking on King Harper's faction there?
The Dark Order.
Dark Order, thank you. When he was halfway leader and everything like that, and he was down and out with the elite, and he was downtrodden, Hangman. Now this feels like we're running that back of this redemption arc and everything.
Mhm.
Of he got, I think, the better and the most reactions at promo segment, which was great, by the way. I think he wins this match. You go to the depths of hell between him and Moxley, and then Will Ospreay leaves Forbidden Door in Wembley. Or if they're at least doing it in the UK.
During the O2. Yeah, during London. Yeah, you're right.
O2. Well, because I know he mentioned it.
Okay.
Ospreay doesn't walk in, but he walks out of it as AEW World Champion.
You give the cowboy the moment in Texas, you give the British guy the moment in British
Exactly.
land. Okay.
Well, in Arizona, by the time I get to Arizona.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, Double or Nothing's in Arizona, my bad. And then
Well, no, I
got it backwards.
This feels like the culmination of the redemption arc for Hangman. And
okay.
I think you give him that moment, and then he can have it for a month or two, or like he wins it, he goes, and he's the guy that can pull. Ospreay even said, "You know how to beat him. I don't know how to beat him." So Hangman goes and beats him, and then Ospreay leaves the O2 Arena, all of Forbidden Door, AEW World Champion. We're still gonna get there, still in a year, but we don't do it here.
So we dragging this out a whole nother year? Is that what you're saying?
We're dragging this out a couple months.
For the summer?
A couple of months. Oh,
we're dragging this out until around SummerSlam. So SummerSlam, we got the rematch of Hangman versus Ospreay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, this is the best match you have because we are torn about like Ospreay wins. It makes a lot of sense. And he can go. Page wins. I can make a case for that too. This match, and Ospreay said it. He wants to go after everything. He wants the main event spot to put. Fuck it, we're not shying away. And I'm sure there was probably some backstage politics that like everybody worried about where they're going to be, and Ospreay's just, and that's why this guy should be the flag bearer of this company.
Well, he even sat there and mentioned in the promo, if I don't go and whine to my bosses in the back, and you even saw Hangman nod along with them and everything.
Yeah. Anthony?
No, I agree. I think I'm still on the Will Ospreay winning, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I feel you, KJ, with Tony in this up too.
Tony, that's my only thing is I'm trying to think like him. Like, I mean, I think if we look at certain situations, maybe we would book this, but Tony's probably gonna Tony this one up.
This is though where AEW deserves their flowers of 100% of this deserves. This has been executed pretty much flawlessly. I'm more concerned of your following in Anarchy in the Arena. I hope they follow true with what Ospreay said of it's 3 hours versus if this is 5 hours, 7 hours, then you worry of you might have just burnt out your audience too much, and now you ruined the main event too. But if what they can do and what they should do with this, they need their flowers with this. This is
have to get
really them doing well.
If you make it to the finish line, we'll all be holding our flowers, and that's fair. I agree with that. And I will say that, and before we sign off here tonight, they've been solid. These are two guys that you can build this company around that have passion, that have fire. Now you need more of that and continue that. And if Ospreay did ask for the main event spot, it wasn't just handed, like he truly asked for it and stepped up. He knows, he's smart. That Anarchy in the Arena is going to suck. It's going to be all about the fucking stupidity. And so when them following Anarchy in the Arena or the other matches, he's going to be fine.
No, but it depends on when it is, and it still is the chaotic spot and everything like that. It's going to be chaos.
Yeah, well, when they burn the ring down and you can't wrestle in it, yeah.
Yeah, but does Anarchy in the Arena start the show, or are they second to last? I really took hold into Ospreay saying of, well, if you win, I'm glad for you, and I got your back, and it's going to take more than just one person to take down Moxley and everything like that. Like I said, I still think that we're going to have Hangman complete this redemption arc here because the crowd's got behind him, the booking's got behind him. it feels reminiscent to when he first won it here, and then Ospreay wins that title at Forbidden Door. You have the big moment in the UK.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. And I think they can really do that. We'll see. I mean, this is the most intriguing thing for me. I think when you break down those cards, you said it, NXT, title matches. I'm kind of into everything they're offering. Under Siege, a little hit and miss. Saturday Night Main Event is what it is, but I'm into what they're offering. Double or Nothing, their high interest is high, but there's a lot of just not pay-per-view matches on this card. It's a little disappointing because Double or Nothing, like people used to debate, was Double or Nothing or All In the WrestleMania for AEW? And Double or Nothing is definitely not the WrestleMania this year. No, no way. Yeah. Any final thoughts on any of the 20 pay-per-views we just covered? We aimed for 90 minutes. We failed.
I am now looking at what they've done with the Under Siege card. I'm a little bit more excited for that tomorrow night. Yes. Battleground looks going through the match card of Battleground was surprising to me. I didn't know all of that was happening. So Battleground looks really good. So I got high hopes for Battleground. I got high hopes for Under Siege as well. And one final thought, that match at Under Siege with Steve Macklin was called off. He is injured.
So it's not happening.
Yeah, that was on the TNA website.
Yeah.
So.
I literally read, you got to be, we tell everyone watch their sources because it was like minor fractured skull, but is good to go. I'm like, the Leafs goalie just sat out 2 weeks because he had a concussion. What do you mean fractured skull? What have we done?
Well, he's a member of the Broken Skull Ranch out here, but yeah, I really think especially my last thing is if Double or Nothing can fit within that 3 to maybe even 4 hour time slot and doesn't become this big balloon bullshit, they will fucking run away with recent pay-per-views, I think. And
you think with Sons of Texas on this card, because of one match,
if they can do it in Anarchy in the Arena and Ospreay versus Hangman, I think those two. I think those two will.
2 of 8 matches, Nick. You think that's going to run away with the weekend? 2 of 8 matches are decent.
I think because they will be so good.
Oh, okay. I mean, it could be.
That's the one, and I think especially it's even a benefit. It's a little bit. We expect Tony's going to go 17 hours. If you can go 3, I already love you. Like you already got bonus points in my book. Just you need to do shit. But I like you.
There's no way this is going 3 hours. If it's under 5, I'd be shocked and happy. But we know that
well, fucking no one trusts you like no one trusts me. If Boston is that really your last thing, Nick? I don't trust you. Right. MDV. Nick has at least one thing more.
Well, before that, I'm sure we do. We'll save the last thing for last. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. That is all the predictions. That is everything. Yes, watch the show back like MDB. Everybody watch it back twice. It's fun. It's good times. But Anthony, Big Nick, it's a crazy weekend. We got more wrestling coming your way, and we will be here live for all of it. Tomorrow, 7:30. Again, Saturday and Sunday, special times. Once again, gentlemen, any final thoughts? Anthony?
No, I'm good. No final thoughts from me. I think I've said everything I can.
I love this guy.
We have a wealth of riches in pro wrestling, and we present to you a wealth of riches when it comes to wrestling content out here on the Wrestling for Life, as this man's gangbanging on everything that I'm out here saying. Fucking throwing up Maple Leaf gang sign. Yes, absolutely. You got anything there, Kendrick KJ Marr?
Go ahead, sir.
Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. I need to go to the bathroom when you're talking about that wrestling, but that 4 live.
Come back tomorrow all weekend long. We're packed. See you on the flip side. Good night.